Hello, my name is Anne Rappé. I'm Director of Communications at Kinark Child and Family Services. We've been hearing a lot from parents now that the first week of school is over. They're curious about how their kids are doing at school. They're a bit concerned about some of the anxiety that they're experiencing and bringing home with them. And today we've invited Dr. Rod Evans, who's the Director of Clinical Services at Kinark, to address some of those questions that we've received. Welcome, Dr. Evans.
Thank you, Anne.
One of the questions that we received earlier this week was a parent hearing a lot about childhood anxiety out there in the media and really wondering why kids would be anxious about returning to school.
Well, Anne, that's a great question, and the fact is that most children don't have any anxiety about going to school. It's a fun and stimulating place for them. But there are some children who experience anxiety, particularly around the schoolwork that they're expected to do and some of the difficulties that they run into in peer relations. So it is difficult for some children.
Mm-hmm. Another parent writes, what should I be doing to support my child now that school has started?
Well, I think my advice to any parent, pretty much at all times, would be to really try to pay attention to how the child is doing and to try to have open channels of communication so that the kid is able to talk to you about things that are going on, both good things and things that aren't so good.
Mm-hmm. So communications is key. Communication
is key, not only with the child but also with the school personnel. So
mm-hmm.
developing connections with the school administration and the child's teacher.
Another parent says that her daughter was very anxious about entering high school this year. She was stressed a lot about it over the summer. What should this parent be looking for to see if she's adjusting well?
This is a kid going into high school. Yeah, well, that's a very challenging time for many kids, and I think again, you really want to be talking to the young person and asking how things are going, not in an inquisitorial way, because many teenagers at that age do require some space. Try to be mindful of any changes in their mood or demeanor that you're seeing, and again, try and communicate with the teachers. In high school, it's a little more challenging because in high school, kids are dealing with more than one teacher, but most parents are able to identify a point person at the school they're able to connect with.
Thanks. One of our parents called us saying that her sons are entering JK, grade 5 and grade 9, so that's a handful. She was wondering if there are any signs that she should look for to really
with
get
3 boys at those age, you're probably looking for 3 different things. But in all of those areas, we're looking for academic adjustment and social adjustment. And probably for the younger child, more concerns about how they're doing socially and how they're doing behaviorally in the classroom. Very often for older kids, the academic challenges associated with the higher grades in the school become challenging, and sometimes kids who have done very well in elementary school can struggle when they go into a higher grade. And so those are, it's important to be mindful of all of those changes in all 3 boys.
We heard from another couple who write that it's early, but their 10-year-old daughter came home after school pretty down each day of the week, and that she went to bed early on her own and she really didn't want to do much. So they want to know if this is normal behavior for kids at the start of the school year.
So, a broad range of behaviors are normal in children at that age, and I would hesitate to ring the alarm bells based on that kind of information. But certainly that is a concerning description, and it's something that I think the parents should be following up with the child and really trying to capitalize on the open communication that's been developed over the course of time and try to understand what's going on. There are many, many possibilities, including some distress that the child might be feeling related to some difficulties that may be becoming apparent. There may be some issues with peers that are problematic. In some instances, bullying is a concern at this age. Very, very difficult to say whether this is a major concern or not, but it's certainly enough of a concern for the parents to start to explore this with the child and with the teachers. What I would say is that if this behavior persists, it is something that they would want to take further, in my opinion, and certainly discuss it with the the school personnel, and quite often take it to an outside resource like the family physician, who's often accessible to parents and to kids.
Speaking of resources, this is a sampling of some of the questions that we've received and calls and some social media messages that we've gotten. There are some others, that have come in since, and I'm expecting to be receiving more. What's your message to parents?
We can certainly provide all kinds of help to people who are willing to come in and talk to us, but even without coming in and without living in the areas that we support geographically, you could access our Facebook page, which has a lot of useful information, and our website, speakingofkidsmentalhealth.ca, and there's all kinds of useful information, some helpful links, and really there is a lot of useful information on the web these days that parents can access that is very, very helpful to them in terms of understanding these difficulties.
Terrific. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
My pleasure.